Motorsports of KC, circle track, street, or drag strip, or if you want to go off-roading, they've got that special equipment you need to be faster, better looking, and safer. Located in Kansas City, Kansas at 6285 State Avenue. Come on in and see Brad, Barry, or Bobby for that special speed or custom item. Motorsports of KC is glad to sponsor the Racer of the Week. Let's check with Mike Kraft and see who that racer for this week will be. Finally caught up with Mike Nichols, four-time IMCA stock car champion. Mike, I can't tell you what a pleasure this is. I've seen you race I don't know how many times, and finally to get the opportunity to get to do this interview with you is a pure pleasure. We're at Mayetta up here at Thunder Hill Speedway, and you've already been out for your heat race, and you won that, and I think we're going to have some terrific footage on that. We had the camera looking backwards, so we're going to get to see all those guys you passed. But man, four-time IMCA champion. I mean, how in the world does a person do that?
Well, first of all, likewise on meeting you. Been a big fan of your videos. I tune into InThePits.net every week, and always enjoy clicking on that, and so I appreciate this opportunity. I don't know, every year when it rolls around, it just seems like it's time to go, and it's kind of old hat, and I've worn myself out as well as a bunch of other guys that have helped me, and but I enjoy doing it, and as long as I'm still healthy and able, I'm probably going to keep doing it.
You sound like me. When the fun's gone, the race will be gone.
That's exactly right. Tonight so far has gone pretty good. We won our heat race, and we'll probably start in the fourth or fifth row in the feature, and haven't been up to look at the lineup chute yet, but the track's taped and shaped real nice. I know Mike and Pam Conkright here at the Thunder Hill Speedway, they do a terrific job. They've really renovated this place. Tonight is a prime example. You see a great crowd. Looks like we've got a good car count. In the racing all around the country, you get to see various groups of people either running the races or racers themselves. But the Conkright's definitely class acts. That's one of my draws down here, as well as their racetrack itself. But personally, I hope the car holds together. Things have been going pretty good. We've had some DNFs this year, which we didn't have last year. And if we've stayed together, we've been pretty good. But there's a stock car, Kyle Vanover, that's been pretty fast down here, I've been seeing. And he also looked good in his heat race. He won his heat race from the tail. And it'll be interesting to race against him and see how it happens, see how it works out.
When you go about at the beginning of the year, I mean, is there some kind of a process to this when you decide which tracks you're going to run at? I mean, is there something that plays into that? Yeah,
there is, and in the past few years, that's kind of been the strategy. Is the way the IMCA points are configured, car count is a big deal, and to make a long story short, the more cars you race against, the more points that you're rewarded at the end of the year, and that was one of the reasons that I selected the tracks I did in years past. This year, the $4 diesel has kept me pretty close to home, at least more so than last year. And it's just everything gets more expensive every year. But hauling that rig around, and we got an enclosed trailer this year versus an open trailer last year, so it's more expensive to pull down the road. But this year, it's just kind of been more about staying close to home and running in my hometown racetrack in Harlan, Iowa, and that's a really tough competition. I haven't been there in 5 years, but that's kind of nice, on Saturday afternoons, other than today where it got rained out, to be able to mow the yard or do whatever that you got to do and get things done, and then go down to the racetrack at 6 o'clock versus last year we were leaving at 1 or 1:30 or something to get to the races.
Just a minute ago, you were talking about you're going to be starting back in the pack. I think to me that's one of the things about winning these championships that you have won. Plus, while I'm thinking about it, I'll throw this out there. I understand you just took over also as IMCA total feature winners for stock cars. Is that correct?
Yes.
How many?
We won last night in Des Moines, and that puts us at 235 or 236, something like that.
Yeah.
235, I think. But yep. And a fella about 40 miles down the road from us is the guy that I passed, and I raced against him for a number of years too. And actually, in the race to tie him for feature wins, that's who I passed for the lead.
No.
That was kind of ironical, but it, you know, to be able to do what I saw him do for so many years is, you know, makes you look back and say, wow, you know, we really have had a little success. It just doesn't seem that way when you're in my shoes, but when you were watching him, you know, you're wondering, you know, is he living the dream, or, you know, he's got everything going for him. But you know, I guess it's been my time the last few years, and hope it keeps going.
Yeah. Okay. Back to my original question.
Okay. I kind of get distracted a little bit.
Well, I kind of forgot about it too. But you're talking about having to start back in the pack. I think that's one of the things to me that makes these championships so hard to understand how you win them over the years. Is even though you run good according to the way IMCA does the points, man, you're going to have to start back in mid-pack. And of course, when you do that, then I think you've got to worry a lot about passing, and you don't run with some of these guys all the time. That's got to be tough, doesn't it?
You know, it's bittersweet. When you see the track to track, night to night, if you're running the same track, you see the same drivers, you learn drivers' tendencies, you learn to read the racetrack, and one of the benefits in starting in the 5th or 6th row is you're able to read the track as you're working your way through traffic. Would I rather start on the front row? Absolutely. But starting in the 5th or 6th row, you get to learn where the groove is, and sometimes you can really sneak up on that guy that took the lead early and more or less surprise him and take the groove away from him, and he didn't even know that groove was there. And then you go by him, and then everybody ends up in a freight train behind you.
Yeah. It's kind of come down to tonight. Now, like I say, you've been out on the heat race already, and you won that, and it's still going to be quite a few races yet before your A main. Is it just a kind of wait and see? I mean, I'm sure you've got a general setup or whatever that you put on the car, and you just wait until you get out there and, like you say, see what's going to develop, where the groove is, and then you go for it from there.
Well, we were looking to grind some tires here in kind of our regular prep for the feature, and as we plugged into the generator quit tonight, so I guess we're going to pretty much stuck with what we got. Changing shocks and this and that. I pretty well know what I want to run down here, and we ran 7 or 8 times here last year, so I got a pretty good idea what to expect. And the racetrack surface, you know, being out there in the heat race, you can kind of once you've raced enough, you can kind of see how things change throughout the night, and you get a pretty good idea watching the races ahead of you, what to expect. You're
going to have to refresh my memory because I'm not up on rules this much on IMCA. Do you have weight jacks in these stock cars?
We do, yep. We can use weight jacks on all 4 corners, and we run the same wheels and tires as the modified class.
Okay.
We have 2 engine options. We can either run an open motor, unlimited cubic inches, unlimited compression, but we're stuck with a 350 CFM carburetor, or we can run pretty much a hobby stock or sport mod motor with 500 CFM 2-barrel. And they proved out, this is the first year we've been able to do that, they proved out to be pretty competitive. So horsepower we're down a little bit, but I've always been a big fan of the stock cars. They, it kind of looks like a stock body cars, and there's a little bit of bumping and banging, and hopefully not too much, but a little bit to get the crowd into it. And to me, it's the most exciting track or exciting class to watch.
Yeah. I think I interviewed you one time up at I-35, if I remember, but I'm going to ask the same question. Who makes the chassis and who makes the power for you?
Well, it might be different than it was back then. I'm pretty loyal to the guys that have helped me and sponsors and such. But the guy that was building my cars at the time, he quit building cars. And about 3 years ago, we went with a medieval chassis, and they are out of Minnesota. Jesse Olson is the owner of that business. and this is my third medieval chassis. We plan on getting a new one every year, but every year it gets better and better. We changed the paint scheme up a little bit this year. Been red and yellow forever and ever, and this year we went with the blue and orange, and the car's working good. I think it looks pretty good. Hopefully it goes fast tonight, especially.
Who's making the motors and power?
CNC Motorsports in Brookings, South Dakota. They climbed on board a couple of years ago, and I don't get free engines by any means, but they give me a deal on some machine work and some labor, and every little bit helps. And when you're racing 3+ nights a week, that stuff really adds up. And winter time, time to prepare. When you got to put multiple engines together, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier when there's a little help involved.
Yeah. I would ask you to mention the sponsors, but I looked at the car there a while ago, and heavens to Pete, there must be 10, 12 sponsors on this car. But I'm sure you've got some big ones that you'd like to tell us about.
Yep. Medieval Chassis, obviously. Mosier Engineering, they do my all my rear end components. They've been with me for 7 or 8 years, and fantastic sponsor. American made stuff. You take a little shot to the wheel, you don't have to worry about it bending or breaking. That stuff's guaranteed forever. See a lot more stuff today in the racing industry coming from China, and as that's happened, you've seen more and more parts failures, stuff that just shouldn't happen. And I try to stick with those guys that don't get with the cheap stuff. Stephenville starter, Stephenville, Texas. VP Heartland Fuels in Manhattan, Kansas here. You're gonna make me look. Icon Pistons. Icon Pistons is also a big help. Scorpion valve train components, rocker arms, valves, lifters, etc. And there's, like I said, there's several other.
I was gonna say, I've seen a guy from Waukene, Western Carriers. Man, how does a guy from Waukene get to be a sponsor of a guy's car from Heartland, Iowa?
I think I twisted his arm just right. Terry and Angie Sherfick, friends for a while, and Terry he sent me a check one time. He asked me a bunch of questions about his stock car, his son's stock car, and I think he felt bad or whatever, but like, Terry, you don't have to do that, but it's kind of just turned into him supporting me each and every year, and it's guys like that that are so great, because it's year after year.
Well, Mike Nichols, not only a champion, but also I've seen many posts that you say, like you were talking about, on In the Pits, and I think you're a terrific spokesman for racing itself and for IMCA, because I've read some of those and I think, hey, this guy's done this. He knows what he's talking about.
Thank you. Sometimes I wonder why I do that, but
but anyway, like I say, a terrific spokesman, and all I can say is appreciate you talking with us, and go out there and have some fun tonight, man. I'm looking forward to the feature already, and that's it. Have fun, guy.
Well, when we get back and look at this video on Monday, I hope I'm not looking back and saying, well, that was the highlight of my night. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you in the winner's circle. Thanks a lot, Mike.
Appreciate it.
Let's go in the blue number 63 with Mike Nichols as he pulls out of the hot lane out onto the track. We're going to stay with Mike Nichols, and you can count the cars as he starts to pass them, because he's going to be starting on that inside 4th row. So fasten your seat belt, get that helmet on, get ready to go, folks. We're going to take a ride here with Mike Nichols during his heat race here at Thunderhill Speedway in Mayetta, Kansas. Mike Nichols coming down for just the first appearance this year at Thunderhill Speedway, as his home track in Harlan, Iowa was rained out. So like I say, get ready. They're going to turn them loose here anytime. After starting 5th, Mike pulls up on the scales to make sure that he's going to be able to make weight. But gee, what a ride with Mike as he comes from the back of the pack and makes it all the way through the field, come up and take first place here in his heat race, which will qualify him for just about in the middle of the pack for the A main. But it's going to be time to get back to the pit area right now and start cleaning up the car, maybe do some stuff to the tires, check everything out, and get ready to go for that A main.
There goes about $1 worth of fuel.
Oh, Drexy.
Well, it's full. I can see it right there.
Make her consistent, good and full for every race I go up. Kind of bouncing around everywhere.
Yeah.
None back here that I
Video facing backwards?
Yeah.
Be different.
Rolling the cars off at turn 4. We'll go parade lap. Pick your favorite number, favorite color, favorite car, favorite driver. It's the Hine and Repair Service IMCA Stock Car A main. Jim Powell Sr. and Marvin Griffith setting the pace. Powell with 21P, Marvin Griffith 75M. Safety lights out on the speedway. Keep an eye on Kyle Vanover outside row 3. Been on quite a winning streak here at Thunderhill Speedway. We'll see what happens as we look for the green off at turn 4.
I don't know about you, John, but I'm about to get emotional up here. We got Nichols and Vanover. The best race of the night, maybe, possibly.
I don't know, it's going to be tough to beat Shots in Lincoln, but here we go. Off of 4, looking for the green.
I meant that. Vanover to 19, trying to get to the lead as we got an angry mob behind Marvin Griffith and Powell. Marvin Griffith's going to take the lead down the backstretch.
Well, contact down the back straightaway. Marvin Griffith, Jim Powell Sr. Kyle Vanover working the high line. It's coming around lap number 1. Give it to Marvin Griffith. Little contact between Nichols and Vanover back there.
Nichols ain't getting no love from anybody right now as he's getting beat up as you see some lightning in the background.
To east of us, we're good.
Vanover to the bottom of Powell. He's going to take, maybe, he might be able to. 4 wide into turn number 1. Oh, as everybody goes, there goes Nichols on the bottom. He's going to try to go around Vanover, and he does. Maybe side by side into turn number 3 and 4.
Great battle up front. You've got Jim Powell Jr., Marvin Griffith, and Matt Hay, 3 wide. And right behind them, you've got 2 cars looking to get through them. The 63 of Nichols and Vanover. Here comes Nichols.
We told you it wasn't going to be a push around race. Anybody wants this race, they're going to do it. Nichols, Vanover, Powell.
Oh, hey, look.
Everybody battling it. I think almost everybody has led a lap.
Battle for the lead down the back straightaway. The 19 of Kyle Vanover, Jim Powell Jr. in the 20. Mike Nichols working the high line, trying to get around the 70. Oh, hold on,
watch out, Matt Hay. Oh.
Contact over in turn 3. We've got 3 cars stopped. Jim Powell, the 20, sets the pace. Greg Harper looks him over. We'll look for the green this time around.
Out of 3 and 4, Jim Powell, Kyle Vanover. Green flag is going. Nichols to the bottom of Marvin Griffith. Vanover trying to go high of him. Side by side down the backstretch for first, second, third, and fourth.
Nichols moves into the 3rd spot. Vanover to the high side of Powell. He'll look for the top spot down the front straightaway.
Vanover gets around him now. Nichols trying to run the high side. He's trying to get around Jim Powell. As he does, he will take over 2nd spot now. He puts his sights on Kyle Vanover in the 19. Mike Nichols in the 63 looking for the 19, but Jim Powell will not go away in that 20P. Nichols to the outside of Kyle Vanover. Will he take the lead side by side down the backstretch?
Vanover with a good run down the backstretch into turn 3. He'll hold on the top spot. Nichols working that high line. Trying to close the gap on the 19. Laps winding down. And he'll pull alongside Kyle Vanover as they go into turn 1.
Nichols out of the turn number 2, side by side down the backstretch. Nichols gonna take the lead in the 63. Vanover to the bottom.
Vanover dives back down to the inside. He'll try to hold on to the top spot. As we come down the front straightaway, new leader, the 63 from Marlin, Iowa, Mike Nichols out to the top spot.
So can it be? Can it be the end of Kyle Vanover's streak? Nichols inching farther and farther away. Vanover back to the bottom of Nichols. Side by side out of 4. Nichols keeps the lead. Robbie Harpins in the 11 takes his car home. Vanover back to the bottom, trying to get around him one more time as he had a big push off of 1 and 2. Nichols.
Nichols making that high line work. Vanover battling back on the inside. 2 distinct grooves as laps wind down here. Our IMCA stock car, hey Maine, we're looking for the white flag next time by. Now Nichols moves to the inside.
2-car length for Mike Nichols in the 63. Vanover to the bottom. Is he gonna get him side by side out of 4? White flag away for Mike Nichols. He has 1 more lap to destroy the streak of Kyle Vanover.
Nichols working the low line through 1 and 2. He'll move to the high side, turns 3 and 4. He'll look for the checkered flag this time by.
To the bottom, Vanover not gonna get him. The streak may be over, and it is. Mike Nichols in the 63 will end Kyle Vanover's record. So Nichols wins it. Kyle Vanover's 2nd. 3rd will go to Jim Powell. 4th to Marvin Griffith. And 5th will go to Jeff Miller in the 220.
Mike Nichols gets ready to receive the trophy for the win here at Thunder Hill Speedway in Mayetta, Kansas, as he adds to that victory total of wins that he's piling up with the IMCA stock cars. Once again, Mike Nichols now the all-time leader for feature wins with IMCA in the stock car division.
Here with the winner of the IMCA stock cars, Mike Nichols. Mike, all I can say is I can't have a more fitting way to end this video that we're going to do about you tonight than for you to go out there and win the feature. So, man, what a run.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking was earlier, you know, getting to meet you and getting to deal is an honor. Highlight, but, you know, so yeah, that first highlight.
It was a great race. Kind of had to play display some patience there. I noticed during the race too, I really hate to name any numbers, but you got together with somebody there early in the race, and I thought, oh man, this could cost.
Yeah, the stock car class is so tight, and it seems like, you know, if there's one groove on the track or everybody's trying to go for that same groove, it's you know, that's what makes it exciting. Is there might be a little bumping and banging, and you know, some fenders getting pushed in, and I mean that's what it's all about. The crowd loves that. You know, I definitely don't try to. You know, I consider myself a pretty clean driver, but sometimes when the track gets narrow, that's what you got to do. But this track is by no means narrow. We had a couple of whoop-de-doos, as I would call them. I wouldn't call them ruts, but something to kind of upset the car a little bit, and I think that maybe caused a couple of cars to get together, but you know, it was nothing real serious.
Say it looked like didn't make any difference, high, low, whatever, man, the car was working great for you.
Mine was working good. I guess we didn't need to grind those tires, but you know, Kyle ran a great race, and he's been kind of the guy to beat, and I guess, you know, the crowd really got their money's worth tonight. You know, seeing the guy that had run up front for the last few weeks, and then, you know, to see another guy come in and beat him. So that's definitely a highlight. You know, I'm pretty proud of the way things worked out tonight.
Okay, give me the number again with this win tonight. Now it's going to be what,
230 something. I know that's a guy's way smarter than me, way better with numbers, keep track of that sort of thing. I know that it was something that was kept track of, and I knew I was somewhat close a couple of years ago, and then we kind of started watching it, and then at the end of last year I knew I was within a couple, so right at the start of the year, you know, that was something to focus on.
Okay, folks, once again, your IMCA stock car winner and four-time national champion, all-time winner in stock cars for IMCA, Mike Nichols. Mike, what a pleasure to be with you tonight.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.